Tires are critical to your bike's performance and safety, but there are a lot of options out there to choose from. To help you make sense of things, I'm going to describe the 5 main tire categories. And to really drive the point home, I'm going to compare them to shoes. Tires are always a compromise between grip and durability. They range from hard, long-lasting buns for touring bikes, all the way up to super soft, super grippy race slicks. Which tires are best for you depends on the kind of bike you ride, where you ride it, your riding style and experience, and of course, weather conditions. So keep all of that in mind as I describe these 5 tire categories. To kick things off, we're going to start with the category of tire that I like to compare to work boots. All the Harleys, Indians, Victories, and Customs you see out on the road are going to be rolling around on a tire like this. Bridgestone's Excedra Max is really thick and really stiff because it's designed for extremely heavy, really big motorcycles. Think of them as work boots. Sturdy and durable and made for, well, doing work. Cruiser tires are meant to handle a lot of miles and perform well in all weather conditions. So they use a harder rubber compound as well as lots of tread grooves to channel out water. They're great for straight line stability and offer awesome mileage, but not necessarily a lot of performance or outright grip. And on a cruiser, that's an ideal compromise. On the spectrum of street tires, cruiser rubber is at one extreme end. And just so we can clearly mark the boundaries, let's move all the way to the other end of the spectrum and talk about slicks. Slicks are sick. I have raced on these B-Stone VO2s, and let me tell you, there is nothing as inspiring as the first heat cycle on a fresh pair of slicks. The grip is just unbelievable. These things are the pinnacle of performance. And because of that, they are very expensive and they have very specific criteria that needs to be met in order for them to offer optimal grip. They're very sensitive to pressure and temperature, and because they grip so incredibly well, they only last about 24 laps. In the world of shoes, slicks are sprinter spikes. Very focused, totally uncompromising, and totally out of place any place but the track. So I've heard street riders say that they think they need slicks because they're headed to the track, but that's kind of like a casual jogger strapping these bad boys on to go for a run around the park. It is total overkill. And frankly, it's totally unsuitable unless you can meet the requirements of the equipment. For slicks, that means using tire warmers to heat them up to about 180 degrees and watching your pressures like a hawk. Just below race slicks are DOT race tires. These are essentially slicks with a minimum amount of tread cut in them to meet Department of Transportation standards and conform to production racing rules. These might look like street tires, but they are a totally different animal. Like slicks, DOTs need to be hot to grip well, only work well in the dry, only offer optimal traction for a heat cycle or two, and are constructed specifically for racing. That means a stiffer carcass for handling vicious acceleration and braking, and an aggressive profile with a really tall crown. In terms of footwear, DOT race tires like these Bridgestone R10s are kind of like top-end running shoes. We're talking about the kind of kicks that athletes put on to click off 5-minute miles. Awesome for performance, definitely made for speed, but not exactly ideal for everyday walking. As for using your racer buddies' DOT takeoffs on the street because you want to be the fastest guy out in Mulholland, don't do it. There is no way you're going to get these things hot enough to work well. These are race use only, which is why you can only get them through trackside vendors. This next category of tire combines a little bit of that cruiser tire durability with a whole lot of performance. Sport touring tires like the T30 here are kind of like cross trainers or trail running shoes. They are comfortable, they are versatile, and they are very athletic. These are the shoes I like to wear on a daily basis, and ST tires are what I want to be riding on, whether I'm on a ZX6R or an FJR. In this category of tire, you're likely to see a lot of tread grooves, some of which are going to extend towards the middle of the tire to help with water dispersion. However, the shoulders might be slick or semi-slick, so you've got great grip at full lean. Some sport touring tires, like these T30s, are dual compound. They've got a harder rubber down the middle for mileage so you don't wear the thing out while you're commuting or touring, and then there's softer rubber on the shoulders so you can still slay it in the corners. The compound is also designed to work across a wide range of temperatures, and there's stuff like silica mixed into the rubber so that there's good wet grip. That means ST tires are going to work well whether it's cold and rainy or hot and dry. In terms of traction, sport touring tires have more than enough to drag knee, and they're going to last a long time. I know, when you think of ST rubber, you think of old guys on BMWs, but modern sport touring tires they're badass. They offer lots of performance regardless of the weather or the temperature, and they're gonna last a long time. Last but not least is a category of tire that I liken to a good pair of jogging shoes or running shoes. Although, I gotta say, I kinda screwed up in my shoe choice because there's no way these lame-ass kicks reflect how badass Hypersport tires actually are. As the name suggests, Hypersport tires are all about performance. They're made to rip it up on a twisty road and also do the occasional track day. Tires like this RS10 here, the R stands for racing, the S stands for street, utilize a ton of trickle-down race tire technology to offer you more traction, speed, and agility. I mean, these things even look like those DOT race tires I showed you, but they've got a few more tread grooves in order to tune the tire's behavior. These are the tires that come stock on Honda's new CBR 1000 RR SP, the GSX-R 1000, and the YZF-R1. They're definitely at the premium end of the street tire spectrum. Hypersport tires are also a little more sensitive to temperature and pressure when compared to sport touring tires, and they're not always great in the wet. They do often use a dual compound tread in order to give you a little bit better mileage, but the fact is they tend to wear out quickly. But hey, that's the price you pay for great grip. In my opinion, RS10s are the type of buns you put on your sport bike if you're committed to riding only twisty roads or track days. Unfortunately, a lot of street riders think they need Hypersport tires because they ride hard. The truth is, they'd probably be better off on sport touring tires. You're gonna get more versatility with an ST tire and more life out of it. And there you have it, my out-of-sequence take on the 5 main street bike tire categories, plus 4 pair of shoes that I now have to return. I hope you guys learned something about the many tire choices that are out there, and I also hope that you'll subscribe and leave your comments because I like to hear what you think, and I'm always curious to hear what you want me to cover in a future video. So until next time, ride safe.